monumental for me this week. I did something that I haven't done much of, but I think I watched something on TV every week, every night this week.
Oh, look at you.
I haven't done that in a while, but I just kind of been watching old movies and,
Okay.
just looking for something feel good, just some feel
Sure.
good movies is what I was looking for. But I did see a documentary. I meant to talk about this last week,
Okay.
uh, and it's called the Secret Apartment.
Have not seen this.
It's on, I believe it's on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But the up in Boston, this was back in the '90s. They were building a mall in Boston, and there were some local artist type people that were living in these old uh, rundown shacks. I think they belonged to the railroad or something at one point, but
Okay.
they were building this mall on reclaimed industrial land.
Okay.
And some of the more artsy type people who find uh, pleasure in fixing up old spaces and things, they were living in these areas that the mall was going to consume. So they were
Okay.
they were knocking down a lot of these old tenement houses and shit like that.
All right.
And during the time that the mall was being built, there was one of these arty guys, one of these guys. He was kind of keeping an eye on the mall and watching it being built. And he noticed that there were in the corner of the mall where one wing of the mall met the other part of the mall, there was
Mm-hmm.
a space up there that didn't appear to be anything that was mall related, like a store or, like warehouse space, or what do you want to call
Okay.
storage space or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So after the mall was built, he went kind of exploring and he found this vacancy in the mall. It was just a space that kind of like took up space between a couple of wings, and it was just space.
Right.
And there wasn't any door to it. It wasn't meant for like storage area or nothing. It was just kind of like there, a vacancy, I guess.
Okay.
And he figured out a way to get into the mall and turn that vacant space into an apartment. And he found a way of getting up into this place, and
Okay.
they were able to access this by some kind of a ladder that went up into the utility area of the mall where there were pipes and
Sure.
electrical and
Okay.
all that kind of shit,
Right.
and they could get up into this space. So he and some of his art friends, they figured out how to get in and out of this space without being detected. And so they could access it from the parking garage, and they were able to get up into this place. They turned that space into a livable apartment, and they were in there for 4 years
Wow.
without being detected.
Rent free.
It was. And they took all kinds of shit up in there, like couches and chairs and tables and china cabinet and all kinds of things. And the one area, or the place where they accessed it from the ladder, it was like completely open to the air.
Right.
So they uh brought cinder blocks up there, and they literally walled off that whole area, and they put a door there, and each one of the guys who were part of this little group all had a key to this place.
Okay.
So they walled off the open area and put a door there with a lock. And so these people would just kind of climb up that ladder and come and go in and out of the
Nice.
apartment. And they lived in there for 4 years
Nice.
until one day some new mall security guys were just kind of, I guess they were just kind of surveilling the area, and
Mm-hmm.
they found this door, and they didn't have any keys to the door, and they were just like, we don't have a key to get into this space. What's in there? So they broke the door down and found
Right.
the apartment.
Found him sitting there watching TV or something.
Yeah, yeah, more or less. So they started going in there and hanging out in there during their break time.
Nice.
So And the reason the people who were living there, part time, they realized that their space had been invaded because they had like video games and stuff in there, and they were missing.
Sure.
So they knew somebody had gotten in there and stole their video game console, and some things were moved around and missing, and so on and so forth. And
Right.
finally, the head of the mall management or whatever came up there and busted them. And the only thing that really happened to them, they didn't get prosecuted or anything, but they just basically got trespassed from the mall.
Okay, well, it's a big deal.
So,
Big deal after living for 4 years rent free.
but here's the thing. These guys, again, and you and I talk about this all the time, they had the presence of mind to video this whole thing.
Of
To
course.
record this, and they have all these video recordings that they made during this whole 4 year period
Right.
at various stages of living in that space and hauling cinder blocks up there and go into Home Depot and basically carrying as many cinder blocks as they could in the trunk of their car, not to
Sure.
look suspicious, and they would just like drag these blocks out of the trunks of their car like one or two at a time,
That's funny.
and drag them up there and finally get enough to build that wall and that door and everything else.
It's crazy.
And again, presence of mind to sit there and video record all of this. Well, they did it, and they had enough video recordings as well as the current interview with the people who did this to talk about how this all came to be and what they did and how they avoided being detected and all this other
Right.
stuff. But it was pretty crazy. So, what is it about people who are in the quote unquote the arts, who are artistic? The guys are always very effeminate
Of course.
all the time.
Yeah, because they're chasing their craft instead of pussy.
I guess, but one or two of them were married, but even the guys that were married were very, kind of limp wristed.
Right.
The girls, they typically aren't attractive because they always have some weird fucked up hairstyle, or they got
Right.
some ugly ass tattoos or some terrible piercings or something like that. And the guys are always kind of very femmy,
Right.
but they're the artistic type,
Yeah, they are.
What is it with that?
No idea.
Don't know what drives that personality type into
Yeah.
these various things. But overall, interesting documentary. If you have an opportunity, it's called Secret Apartment.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll check that out. Why not?
Yeah, pretty clever.
That's pretty cool. Well, I wish I had something to match it with for that, but I don't even know that I really watched anything this week. Honestly, I didn't. I was kind of work, sleep, repeat all week. I really didn't do a whole lot of much. Interviewed Tommy Skio. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I saw the ID that you got for him to do. Is he back on drugs or anything?
Nah, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
If you watch the full interview, he seems pretty lucid. I mean, we've interviewed him when he was,
Yes.
and he was a lot slower. He was like kind of dope sick guy.
Yeah.
And when I talked to him yesterday, I think it was yesterday, he was just fast talking, and he was real excited. He's a good shit though, man. I like that dude a lot. I tried to ask him about that band Terminal, the one with Brian and Chris Holmes and Josie from Saliva.
Right.
And he didn't want to talk about it. He was like, "Oh, I'll come back on and talk about that. I just want to talk about Bad Marriage." I was like, all right, fair enough.
All right.
Fair enough. But then I did slide we'll get to it a little later, but I did ask him about that song, the circus song, whatever
Yes.
that was called.
Yeah.
I quit the circus today or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did ask about that. We'll play that later on. Because that's interesting. It's just something that we did.